Here, you better chill out, boy. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, everybody. Sorry for being late, about 10 minutes late. Hopefully, there are people here in the chat. I just want you guys to gather. I did not want us to do this without you guys. Your input matters. If anybody in here has intuition, discretion, you are the people that I really, really, really want here. Before we get into what we're about to get into, I just want to say welcome to Tina Lampo, the Lampo Show. Hey, girl.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome everybody. Come on in.
Yes.
This is going to be a very sensitive topic. I will tell you that now. It's going to trigger some people, but
Mhm.
just brace yourself and open your ears and your eyes. Hello to people coming in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. But open your ears and your eyes, and you be the judge of this, because this right here, y'all, it's a lot. It's a lot. It is. So, hey, Aries Black. Hey, Life with Key. Go ahead, sweet mom.
Hey, Chantel. This
Hey, Chantel, girl.
Chantel. See, listen, before we get into it, Amir, Amir said he had to make he had to make his presence. he just had he just right when I go live, he
Hey,
chooses
Rotu.
Amir. Okay.
It's okay, Amir. It's okay. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, I am that somebody. Jamal, T with Lulu, Open Brook. Hey, y'all. Hey. Hey, everybody. Please do us a favor and share this live out and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
And to
Hit
anybody
that
that's
like.
questioning, my son is special needs, so this does happen. I, you know, I wish we could prevent it from happening, but Amir is part of the show as well. Okay.
Absolutely, he is.
Yes. Um. Again, like Tina said, this is a pretty serious topic. So if you guys cannot handle certain things such as abuse, pedophilia, stuff like that, I suggest that you leave. I'm just waiting for more people to come in because what happens is what I do notice when we do these lives, a lot of people tend to come in whenever it's like a drama filled live, and when it's something serious,
Right.
yeah, when it's something serious, you don't get that many views. But I guarantee you right now, today, as we break this down, this will be spread the way it's supposed to be spread because this meeting that we're having right now is divine. I don't care how anybody wants to put it. It is divine. This is supposed to be happening. And I'm taking this assignment, and that's that.
And tell them why. Tell them how you know it's divine and why it's happening.
Oh, okay, real quick. First of all, shout out to everybody that's in the chat, especially the Chantel. Okay, so I am that somebody. Love you, sister. Aries Black, love you too. All right, listen. As far as this being divine, I came across an interview with a young lady that said that she was violated by her father and Papa, violated by her father at age 5 years old. And when I say violated, I mean sexually violated. I saw the story and I started to watch it and I couldn't finish it. I put a pause on it. I said, I want to share this with my audience. But because it was so triggering, I just never did it. 2 months later, when I say 2 months, 2 months later, I get a message from yours truly, Tina Lampo.
2 months.
2 months later, mind you, keep in mind, I saw this interview, but I stopped it. Not even midway. I stopped it within 20 minutes. I couldn't finish it. Tina said, "Hey, mind you, I seen that she posted that she had this serious story to touch on, and I didn't know what it was. Then she hits me up and she said, "Hey, something told me, I can't remember exactly what you said, why you decided to hit me up. Can you tell them why you hit me up?" Tina, where you at? Okay, until she comes back.
Well, after I watched it, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is something that needs to be covered. Let me hit Sweet Mob." So I reached out to you. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you. Not anymore. Okay, so basically, she reaches out to me and asks me, "Did you see this story?" And I'm like, "Are you talking about the black and white video?" And she was like, "Yeah. Did you see it?" I said, "Yeah, I tried to watch it. I was actually going to talk about it on my channel, but I just never did." This is 2 months later. Are you there, Tina? Oh, why is, you know what? The devil is a lie,
I'm
honey.
here.
Okay, go ahead. You can finish and tell them why you reached out to me before we get more people in, and then we go ahead and do this. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I reached out to Sweet Mom, and I was like, "Have you seen this story?" And she said, "I tried to watch it, but I couldn't. It was too traumatizing, so I didn't watch it." I said, "Go watch it." So she went and watched it. I said, because the dad has responded on Tasha K. And
Hmm.
so she ended up going back and watch Chantel's video. Then she ended up watching the dad's video on Tasha K. And I told her, I said, we need to cover this story. And so that's how we got here.
Hmm. So she asked me, she's like, "So what do you think?" And I said, "I believe the girl." And when I watched the father's interview, I was confused because I was like, dang, what if the girl is mentally ill? And maybe she has a crush on her daddy. And, I was thinking all types of things. But at the same time, I still believed the victim. We're going to get into it. I don't know if you want to tell them what we ended up doing before we start to play this and why we're deciding to play this. Because I could tell you why we're doing this. We're going to start from the beginning.
No, we can tell them later. We can
Okay.
tell them later.
Okay. So, what we're going to do today is, because we have to be fair about this situation, I'm about to play Tasha K's premiere, not a premiere, it's like a little teaser for her interview. I'm going to play the teaser. I want you guys to pay attention to it. Once I finish playing the teaser, we're going to get into Chantel's interview. And when I say we getting into her interview, we getting into it, and I'm taking down timestamps. I'm taking down notes. Like, so the people in the chat, I need you to participate. When I say I need you here, I need you here. Me and Lampo, we're gonna, talk between ourselves while we're live, but your comments mean a lot as well. So for instance, let's say we're listening to the interview and she says something that is contradicting, or if she says something that you want to question, please let us know. I will mark it down. This young lady, so easy to talk to. And when you ask her a question, she answers right away. It doesn't take her not but a second to respond. So if you guys have any questions about what we're about to witness or what we're about to view, make sure you put it in the chat and I will write it down because I take notes, honey.
Oh, and I want to tell y'all, if y'all can remember, I told you guys I was going to go live and cover a topic. Well, this is it right here. I didn't expose it because I seen that a lot of people wasn't talking about it, and so I just held it for a minute, okay? But this is the story right here.
Mm-hmm. This is the story that she was talking about. But I just wanted to put this copyright disclaimer up. Copyright disclaimer. Listen, I'm about to play a teaser to Tasha K's interview. Tasha K, if you're watching, which I know you probably are, I'm going to play your teaser. It is on YouTube. This is fair use. You're accusing this girl of some egregious things, and so is her father. We're just here to hear her side of the story. We're going to hear what she has to say, and then we're going to go from there because it is unfair. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to what Tasha K has exposed on this young lady who we're about to show you. Tasha K did an interview with a father who is in defense of what his daughter is accusing him of, which is sexual abuse. And Tasha K released that on a very special day to some people. She had the interview up for about a month, and she decided on Easter Sunday to play this for the world, I guess, for free on YouTube. Because if you wanted to see the interview, you needed to pay on her website to see it. And that interview was sitting there for a minute, and she decided to
Mm-hmm.
release it on Easter. So, boom, after she released it on Easter, she cut it off at the young lady who made the accusations interview. And I thought to myself, let's wait another week. Maybe she might put Chantel's interview out a week after. A week passes. Now, 2 week passes. And I said to myself, this is very odd. Why is she not sharing Chantel's interview the same way she shared her daddy's interview?
Right.
Wouldn't that be fair to hear every side of the story? I'm just wondering. Well, what we're about to do right now, we're about to hear Chantel's side. This is what triggered the entire thing. And Breakbeat Media, shout out to you. Hopefully, you have no issues with us breaking this down. We need to do this in order to go on with what we're doing. Hood
Right.
horror, yeah, exactly, right, sis? Hood horrors, thank you so much. Just showing my CT brethren some love. Thank you so much, Hood horrors. Hey, Annette. Hey, everybody. Hey, Latte's World. Mwah. All right. So, you guys, we already warned you. If you cannot handle said topic, I suggest you leave because this is a lot.
It is a lot, y'all. Brace yourself.
Brace yourself. Sis, is there anything you want to say before we get into it?
Nope, go ahead.
All right, guys, we're going to look at Tasha K's teaser for her interview on this story. Fair use, fair use.
Your daughter has accused you of the most heinous thing. She said that you her for 10 years.
My body gave him a reaction that I didn't want.
My daughter said, Dad, if you didn't do it, you need to go on the show. You need to do an interview.
My father wasn't the only person that was touching me.
Brandon Freeman, your sister has waged war against your dad. And you as well, too.
My two older brothers was as well.
You've been around for about 20 years. Mm-hmm. You've been in Chantel's life. You know her very well.
She watched him beat my ass.
I was raised to, if you know something's wrong, say something.
You were featured on Breakbeat Media's channel, and you detailed abuse that happened to you from age 5 to 15 years old. And this alleged abuse took place by not only your mom, but your dad and your two brothers.
It's very important for me to tell my story to bring awareness to the Black community.
21 years old, after having a baby, right? Mm-hmm. My dad is not circumcised. He has meat everywhere. Your dad goes off to the side. The police make him pull down his pants. That man is fully circumcised. How is it that you, if this man allegedly took your virginity, you have been sucking his dick since you was 5, you have been in and out of his house your entire childhood, how is it that you don't know the difference between what a circumcised man is and what an uncircumcised man is?
When he saw that my hymen wasn't no longer attached, my father started to have full-blown sex with me.
You say I was sleeping with all these women. In her video, she said I had all these women, but she wasn't lying. Plenty. 15, 20 at all times. So I was risking her life. I'm sleeping with them women, then I'm running up in her room. Then why would I be asking you if you're a virgin?
I don't remember when I lost my virginity. I don't know. I don't know if it was one of my brothers. I don't know if it was my dad. I don't know.
So your mama's saying you lying. Your daddy's saying you lying. your story and you not being able to remember.
What man is gonna? Okay, so how about this? I'm such a liar.
And it's not just a man.
I would pay money myself to take a lie detector test to do whatever.
You do a lie detector test?
I swear to God, I will. If you want me to do it right now, I do it right now.
Fair use, fair use. I should have said that.
Hey,
I swear to God, I will.
Can we get a lie detector test down here, please?
Yeah, she don't talk to Clarence and Clarence apparently gave her documentation. She told me she wanted me to do a lie detector test and shit like that. Yeah.
All right. Whew. How many of you guys saw that? How many of you guys watched Tasha K's interview with the father? I see somebody in here says they saw. A couple of people said they saw. Somebody says, liar, liar, pants on fire. Who do you believe is the liar? Why the heck is Tasha K talking to her like that? Good question.
That was very disturbing.
Great question. And I want you to know, the goddess, Tasha K released that interview accusing Chantel of being a carrier of something that you can't get rid of, if you guys know what I mean. This interview made her look so disgusting to the point where I literally thought that maybe she was all the things that Tasha K and them accused her of being, right? And I'm pretty sure you too, Lampo. What were your thoughts when you watched the interview? Did you think that maybe she could be guilty of these egregious things?
You talking about Chantel?
Once you watched the Tasha K interview with the father and the stepmother and the brother, did you not think that maybe this girl could be what they claim?
Right. I want to throw this out there that Sweet Ma and I both have talked to Chantel and we have talked to the father through text messages and phone calls. So we have talked to both of these people. I just want to put that out there. But when I told Chantel when I talked to her that, I felt like she was lying. I did. I admitted that to her. And then I told her that, I was believing the father. But then when I went and watched the father's interview, I was just like, okay, something ain't right. First of all, his body language, it was too much. But I was confused at first until I started digging. Me and Sweet Ma started digging, and then here come the receipts start coming. So we was like, okay, let's cover this story. So that's why we're here.
And another point that needs to be made is whenever somebody comes out with something, you have to hear all sides of the story before you pass judgment. Please listen to all sides of the story. Unfortunately for this young lady, Tasha K has not released her interview. And I highly suggest, Tasha K, if you release the interview for the people to see, which is only fair, they need to see that interview you did with Chantel. I want all of you to pay attention when you watch that interview. I'm not going to tell you what to pay attention to, but pay close attention in that interview. When I say you guys just might see something that might trigger you to where you're like, maybe she ain't lying. Because after watching it a second time, I was disgusted. Tasha K, you should be ashamed of yourself and understand this. Justice will be served, and it's not going to be in your favor. Sis, are you ready for me?
Yep, Tasha dropped the ball on this one. She did.
Tasha, you could have been a hero. You could have been a hero, Tasha. But you chose to be exactly what you've always been. It's disgusting to me, especially coming from somebody that claims that they experienced what Chantel experienced as a child. You should be ashamed of yourself. It's just my personal opinion, you guys. If your thoughts differ, that is fine. That's why we're about to play this for you. We want you all to have your thoughts and opinions. And we're going to get into it. If you have anything that is a red flag to you, put the red flag in the chat or write what you have to say. But I need to know if you guys see anything that is off. Body language, Do you see tears, emotion? Anybody that has experienced child trauma like that, you could probably relate more to Chantel. I can. So we're about to press play. Oh my God, girl. Brace yourself. Are you ready, Lampo?
Let's go.
All right. Woo.
You're put into foster care, and by 5 years old, your father comes to adopt you. But what was once the light at the end of a tunnel quickly turns into the nightmare of your life. Trapping Anonymous.
My father would blindfold me, and he would make me give him oral sex. He would ejaculate in my mouth. The most disgusting thing I ever went through, ever taste. I'm young. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You understand what I'm saying? I'm confused. Why is this happening to me? Why is my dad doing this to me?
What's good? My name is Chris Dowes. This is Trapping Anonymous. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody, as always.
To the channel holders of Breakbeat Media, I hope that there's no issue with me playing this. This is us breaking the video down. We appreciate the fact that you did this interview with this young lady. This is the start of her healing. Please do not flag this channel over sharing this. We're doing commentary. This is not me stealing the video. So do me a favor, sister, whenever you're ready, like if there's anything you question in the video, tell me to pause and I will pause, okay?
Let's go.
All right.
Supporting us and keeping this movement moving. Shout out to Breakbeat Media. Please follow Trapping Anonymous and Chris Styles on that Instagram. If you have somebody you know, if you want to be on the show, you can just DM me. You can email me. I do respond, and let's help continue to get these stories out to our communities. The story that we have today, I think, is very prevalent in our community, and I think that by having the uncomfortable conversations and by putting these sorts of things on Front Street, that we could help not only prevent, but we could help heal. So without no further ado, do remember that the stories that you hear do not necessarily reflect real life. They're here to entertain, educate, or just keep your little homie off the streets. It's only entertainment. Please don't get me indicted. My name is Chris Styles. Let's get it. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so I said this in a previous episode. Just trying something new here. So first I want to start with
Give me a moment. I just want to address this comment. D Classics, you said you saw the interview with the father. There's somebody in here that said they did not see the father's interview. If you would like to see the father's interview after this, please go to Tasha K's platform. It's one of her last lives that she did, or one of her last videos on her page, for whatever reason, is on Chantel. Please watch that interview. And when you're watching it, pay close attention before you pass judgment. DC, you said she's mental. I'm not sure why you feel that way. I saw both interviews for a moment. I did think possibly, but have you seen any of her receipts before you come to that conclusion? That man hadn't did that to her. What makes you believe that he hadn't done it to her? Let's continue.
your name and why is it important that you tell your story?
My name is Chantel Freeman, and it's very important for me to tell my story to bring awareness to the Black community, to basically bring a different light of how to handle similar situations than what I went through, and start holding people accountable. That's why I think it's important to tell my story.
Okay. So you were in foster care at a very young age.
Yes.
Let's sort of talk about that early life, why you were put up. Was it adoption or?
When I was 3 years old, me and my brother was placed into foster care because my mother was dealing with mental illness.
All right. So she said when she was 3 years old, she was placed into foster care, right? 3 years old foster. Okay, so I'm just taking notes as I go because we have to pay attention to ages and dates, okay? It's very important because you guys are going to have some questions about this interview, as many of the people that saw it did have. So we're here to clear it up for you. All right?
Um, she was diagnosed as bipolar and schizophrenic.
Mhm.
I woke up one morning, or not morning, night. I woke up at night to my grandmother screaming. Um, when I woke up, I saw my mother in the room with me and my brother. My brother was asleep. She was in the room with a knife, standing above us. My grandmother called the police and reported my mother, and that night we were taken into custody as far as like foster care. My grandma had the choice to. My grandma had the choice to take us in, but she didn't. So first we started off in a boys and girls group home.
Thank you, Late. You said you thought that maybe her story was shaky. We appreciate your input because guess what? Uh, a lot of people, a lot of people who viewed this probably thought it was shaky. So we're here to clear everything up from start to finish. So if something you thought was shaky, Late, type it in the chat so I could write it in my notes, please. Um, Sister Tina, is there anything you want to say before I press play? Sister Tina. All right, I'm gonna press
No,
play.
press play.
All right.
We stayed there for a couple of months. Girls was supposed to sleep on one side of the house, boys sleep on the other side of the
Can
house.
you hear me, sweet mom?
We weren't separated. You know, I'm thankful for that. We were basically just in foster care together. Shortly after that, we were placed inside a placement home in Pahokee, and that experience wasn't good at all. What I remember is that the foster care kids couldn't even take a bath in the same tub as, you know, the foster care parents and their biological children. We had to eat on the floor. We couldn't even join them to eat at the dinner table. We just weren't allowed to have any access to their biological kids' things. Um, you know, of course, there was other kids there too as well that was experiencing trauma, whether it be, you know, anger or sexual, you know, abuse and stuff like that. When I was in foster care, I did experience a little boy touching on me. And
Okay, so as far as her saying when she was in foster care, she said that a boy touched on her. I'm going to put that down. Because I don't remember hearing that when I watched it before. Uh, all right, I want to address this comment before I continue. I saw her story on the other guy's channel, how she said her dad had skin on his penis and he didn't, though. But he's been messing with her since she was 5. Unfortunately, Tasha K never shared Chantel's side of the story. So you wouldn't know what Chantel's response is to the mistake of the father not being circumcised. How about you guys go under Tasha K's comment section and ask her to drop Chantel's side of the story publicly for you all to hear why she thought that her father was uncircumcised. I see Lampo is not up here. I'm going to continue. Hopefully she comes back up.
we were in that situation for a few months before my father came and got us out of foster care.
Okay, so you gave us a lot there. That's why was your parents not together? So why was your mother and grandmother the only ones that had you and your brother?
Um, I don't think my dad and my mom was a boyfriend girlfriend type of thing. When I asked her why would she entertain someone like him, she expressed me that he never even took her on a date before. So I just really feel like it was just, you know, yeah.
So you were laying there, and then when you woke up, you saw your mom standing over you with the knife.
Yes.
Do you remember what you felt in that moment, or what?
I was petrified.
Keep in mind, you guys, she said that her mother suffered from mental illness. If you have any family members or you have any experience with schizophrenia, you would know that stuff like that does happen with schizophrenic family members. So I don't see why she would come up here and lie about that. But let Tasha K tell you she lied. Anyhow, Tiffany Warner, thank you for this comment. You say, I grew up with a friend and her father raped her several times, and he also tried getting in bed with me. So, Tiffany, please do not leave this live. Please stay in here because your input will definitely help out. Me, being that you've experienced having a friend that experienced something like Chantel.
I was scared, like, what the fuck is you doing? Like, I hear my grandma screaming, and during that time I didn't know what the fuck mental illness was. I was little, so that's when I started seeing the mental illness from that night moving forward. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So at what point would you say that your father came to get you from foster care? How old were you?
I was between 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
I was little, yeah.
Did he ever express why he?
Okay, you guys, she entered foster care around 3 years old. Her father came to get her around 4 to 5 years old. Keep in mind the ages. All right, this is very important. If we're gonna break this down, we need to pay attention to everything that Chantel is saying. If we want to be fair about this story, we have to hear her side as well. We can't just solely listen to the father's side and her brother, who was allegedly doing some things to her too, and her stepmother, who is indebted to her father. Her stepmother was with that man since she was in her teenage years. So imagine her being in the age that she's at. I don't know if she's close to 50. She's indebted to him. Her loyalty is to him. So she will stick up for him. That's just my thought. Lampo, where you at? Okay, so yes, I wanted to read this. Tasha K was being mean and talking down to her. You guys aren't going to know that because the interview has not been released publicly. And that is a very, very major red flag. If you allowed the father, the stepmother, and the brother to speak on her, why is it that you're not allowing the viewers to see her side and how you treated her? Anyways, let's continue.
He wanted to now come get his children, or sort of like, why did he choose now to come get his children? I'm like 4 or 5 years old. Like, if you wanted your kids, I'm sure like that's something like.
Exactly. I don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why he came and got us out of foster care. I feel like it was a benefit thing for him because my mother was getting SSI checks for me and my brother, which of course I didn't know about until I got older. And then plus it was an easy grab. My mom dealing with mental illness, he really ain't got to go through no courts to deem her to be a bad parent. She's already on paper that.
All right, so she said that her mother was receiving SSI checks for her and her brother. That will be important because why? She seems fairly normal here, right? So why is she receiving SSI? I'm coming, baby.
She's not mentally stable to be a parent. So I feel like it was just an easy grab for him that he could just take us from her.
Yeah, sort of have the, single dad with the kids sort of situation.
It's like an image to him, that's how he manipulates his victims. He wants that image of, I'm a single father, I work hard for my kids, when you don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what is life like as soon as you move in with your dad?
All right, keep in mind she says that her father is very manipulative And his way of reaching out to women is to say he's a single father, he's doing it alone, you know. A lot of women would find that to be attractive, to see a man as a single father and, you know, providing for his children. So that could be an easy way to reel him in. What do you think, Lampo? I'm just saying. Manipulative.
So I moved in with my dad between 4 or 5 years old. We were living in a 2-bedroom apartment with me and my brothers. The first few months was fine. But then there was another side of him that just started to come out, that it wasn't good for us. My dad was abusive.
So physically, verbally,
Emotionally, mentally, anything you can name of, he did it.
so I'm assuming that like beat you with like things and
Yeah.
hit you.
Yeah.
When does the sexual abuse start?
When I was 5 years old.
What happened?
I remember my birthday was coming up, and my father told me to come in his room. It was just little things that he would do that made me feel really uncomfortable. You know, like the grooming part.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad would always make an excuse that he was checking me to make sure I wasn't doing anything at that young age. That was just his way of, like I said, grooming and coming in to do whatever. But my dad started touching me when I was 5, and he would blindfold me. It didn't start as, you know, intercourse. Of course, it started off as him making me give him oral sex, and my father would blindfold me, and he would make me give him oral sex. He would ejaculate in my mouth. The most disgusting thing ever.
Okay, I just want to point this out. And the reason why I'm pointing this out, I know it might sound petty to you, but I pay attention to people in the comments. I pay attention to what people say in DMs. A lot of people say Chantel wasn't crying. Where are her tears? On the interview with the father said she had no tears. If you guys are watching on a big screen, you'll be able to see there are tears that are coming out of her eyes. I can see them. Hopefully you can. I just wanted to point that out because many people said in this interview she's not crying. She is. Maybe you can't see because it's black and white. I don't know. Zoom in if you can. She's crying. Petty, but I have to point it out because so many people keep saying, I ain't seen no tears. They're there.
Ever went through, ever taste. I'm young. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You understand what I'm saying? I'm confused. Why is this happening to me? Why is my dad doing this to me? My dad continued to touch on me. My dad continued to rape me. No matter how many times I told him no. No matter how many times I told him no, that did not like stop him and be like, oh shit, like this is my daughter. Why am I doing this? You know? But, you know, as I got older.
Okay, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, how often would this go on? It's 5 years old. How often would this go on?
I don't really remember how often that young, but I do remember how often as I got older. But when it first started, it wasn't that often. I would say probably like one time out the week, or if he had like any opportunity to like do it and get away with it, because his woman at the time.
Okay, you guys, let's pay attention. She's talking about the time frame from when her father was doing these things to her. It is important. Like I said, I'm taking notes. We have to be fair here. If Tasha K is going to put it out there that this young lady is a disgusting human being walking the earth, passing on things that people cannot, uh, STDs that people can't remove from their bodies, we have to give her a chance and hear her story, period. Since Tasha's not allowing us to hear her side.
Time, she would work at night. So he had every opportunity to sneak in my room and do whatever he wanted to do. But as a child, it wasn't as much until I got older.
Okay. 5-year-old child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your dad is raping you and forcing you to do these sort of things. If you can you go back to sort of that child mindset that you had?
No.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking about your household? Are you thinking like this is like normal? Are you thinking like this is still my father? He is my protector. He is supposed to be taking care of me. Like sort of that confusion that he's now put into your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Could you speak on that a little bit?
Of course. It made me feel confused. It made me, feel like out of body experience, like I was frozen. You know, just thinking like, why me? Like, why would he do this to me? I already don't have my mom.
You guys, for a second, please think, what would it be like you being, in the care of your father? You don't have your mom. Your father is the only protector you have. So, for instance, if anybody in here is a victim, I want you to, look at this in a sense that, I'm not trying to say add your trauma onto hers and connect like that, because that's not a good thing to do. But I want you to look at the way she's telling the story. Like, let's say she forgets a date. Can you guys remember what happened to you when you were a child and you were violated? Because some people can't. I would love to hear what you guys are have experienced, if you have. Like, do you remember the ages that these things happened to you? Do you remember the details? Did you tune them out, block them out? That's why we are here today. Me and Tina could have did this behind the scenes and just came out with a big bang. But what we're doing here is just sitting. We're letting you listen. Any red flags that you have, writing it down, and we'll get the answers. You guys will get the answers. So please, if you have anything you want to say, please say something now. Real quick, that was after she talked to the father. That's when Tasha started to talk to her like that. Well, you have to understand, if Tasha's a professional, as a professional, she shouldn't have any bias towards the accuser. Ask her the questions the same way you asked the father. Give her the same energy that you gave the father. And then from there, you come up with your conclusion. But when you start speaking over someone, asking them a question and then speaking over them and not allowing them to finish a sentence, that doesn't seem really fair. At least it doesn't seem fair to me.
Absolutely. Right.
Thank you. Didn't give the girl the opportunity to get a word out. Mind you, I watched this 3 times. I know it sounds insane, but in order to give her a fair chance, because I myself, when I saw it, I said, man, this girl is crazy. She's mentally ill. I thought that. But after watching it 2 more times, everything was revealed. I said, oh my gosh, this girl is under attack. And the
Yep.
yep,
By the whole family.
yep. The masses believe her. I mean, believe the aggressors. And she looks crazy. And she has nobody sticking up for her. But guess what? We are. We're not the only ones, though. I kid you not. There are many people out there that are waking up to this, and hopefully the story gets spread. Tasha K, drop that interview and show everybody your interaction with Chantel Freeman so that they could have an opportunity to see for themselves why she said what she said about her father not being circumcised. We just want to hear that. Come on now,
Right.
right?
Yep. She didn't drop that part. She needs to.
Yeah, she gave an explanation as to why she thought he was. And oh, guess what? Since me and Tina Lampo have some exclusive information that we'll share with you after this, well, probably not in the same live, we can attest.
Yeah, it's gonna take a few lives. It's gonna take a few lives to get through this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We can confirm that Chantel wasn't lying about why she thought maybe he was uncircumcised. We could tell you that much. I understand why she thought he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If Tasha had only sat down with this girl and talked to her, if she had only just sat down with her and talked to her.
What Tasha could have done, my sister, Tasha could have just asked her questions that the father accused her of, that the brother accused her of, the stepmother. Tasha, you should have just asked her questions the same way me and Tina Lampo did. We asked her questions unbiased. Like, okay, so why did you say this? Why did you say that?
Right.
And Tina, every time we asked her a question, tell me. Every time.
She answered. She answered it. She sure did.
There was no stuttering. It was straight answers back to back. Every time we asked her something, never caught her off guard, nothing. Just whatever it was we asked, she answered it. And it made sense. Her answers made sense. All right. I'm going to continue. Still taking notes, guys. Help me with the notes. I'm writing them down.
You were supposed to protect me, not rape me. So I just remember like being that young, just being confused and just not even want to be around him anymore. I didn't feel safe.
What do you remember most about the abuse?
I remember I would tell this man no. I would beg him no. I would beg him like I didn't want to do that. You know, it didn't matter like if I played sleep.
I just want to let you guys know I see tears. You might not see them, but I see them. You have to look at it on a big screen. I'm actually looking at it on my laptop up close. To the people in here that are saying that you've experienced this, I'm so sorry that you've experienced it. Shout out to all of you. I pray for your healing. Chantel, if you're still in here, I pray for you as well. Impeccable Shoe Game says, I'm big on body language. Now, please don't leave. Since you're big on body language, please help me to read Chantel. We're going to be fair here.
It didn't matter what he would drag me out of my room. It was things he would tell me that was just completely just out of line, you know?
Things like what?
Like as when I got older, like he was whispering in my ear, tell me how he would get jealous when I start dating other guys. How how he would get jealous when I started dating other guys. And
I'm writing down timestamps because I think it's important. Most people that violate their children in that sense do get jealous when their children end up dating. They do.
Putting me on birth control at a real young age because he was afraid he was going to get me pregnant.
Oh my God.
Making me take pregnancy tests in the gas station when I was only 11 years old.
Okay. Before we get there, your father goes to jail.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
My father goes to jail. He was sentenced for 3 years in prison because I basically told the police the truth. My father was married to this young lady. I don't want to say her name.
All right. So around the 15-minute mark, she talks about why her father goes to jail. It's important. Keep this in mind. If you're going to go watch the Tasha K interview with the father, he explains the whole jail thing as well. So if we're going to be fair here, we're going to listen to what she says and we're going to listen to what the father says.
But he was jealous over the fact that she was at our neighbor's house during the time. And so he went over there and shot his gun in the air and dragged his wife at the time from outside back into the house until he ripped off all of her clothes. I mean, he dragging her from outside into the house. She's naked by the time she hit the front door. He done ripped her all her clothes. I'm watching him drag this woman, beating the fuck out of her, beating her naked. She's screaming. So, of course, her brother pull up and, they start tussling to fight or whatever. So they run inside the room. Now, I didn't know, she was pregnant at this time.
Wow.
So my father, he's trying to get at her, trying to beat down the door. He actually broke down the door. I'm a child. I open up my door. I look in. I look out my door to see what the fuck going on. He tell me, close the motherfucking door and mind your goddamn business. So I'm crying. I'm scared, So the police come or whatever. And, I was never known to be a liar, even when I was a little kid. And, I only knew to tell the truth. So when the police asked me what happened.
All right, 16 minutes. The reason why I'm pausing is because I want to get the part where she speaks about not being known to be a liar. We'll get into that on another note, but I just need to write this timestamp down myself. It's very important that we get everything.
I told him the truth. So he got sentenced to 3 years.
Wow. So you were sort of the catalyst for that sentencing to happen. When your father goes to jail, how old are you at this time?
Between 9 and 10 when he went to prison.
So how old were you?
When he went to prison? I was like between 9 and 10 when he went to prison.
Between 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so the abuse had already started from 5.
Oh, yeah, from 5, from when he first got cut.
So she says between the age of 9 and 10, her daddy went to prison. Now, if you watch both interviews, the age difference is going to be a red flag to you. But we'll speak on that a little deeper. I'm just writing it down because I think it's very important for us to answer these questions for you after. Because you're going to see some, what do you mean 9 and 10? Didn't you say 5? Didn't you say 8? Didn't you say? So keep in mind, some of the ages might differ. So I'm writing them down for anybody of you that have any concerns.
Plenty of us, the abuse started real heavy. I remember when I was 5 years old, he had me and my brother take a stand in court. So my dad, he have this thing where he likes to go after women that's not financially stable, that don't have the means or the knowledge of how to protect themselves. He likes to use the law as his weapon. So he would go after these unfortunate women, manipulate them, play them, get them pregnant, and then he'll take their kid away. He'll take them to court and take their kid away.
Type of sick shit.
Just so he can get child support, any type of benefits,
right?
You name it. So, he had this one, we call it Haitian lady.
Mm-hmm.
Which was my sister, my sister mother. When my sister was little, my father was trying to take her from her mother for no reason. My dad had my sister for 2 weeks. Next thing you know, we waking up, police pulling up all in front of the house, 10 police lined up down the goddamn street. This in Florida. Made a long story short, of course, they got to go to court for custody. He tells my brothers, he coached them what to say, how to lie on the stand and shit like that.
Mm.
Well, it was my turn as a 5-year-old. When I took that stand, I told the truth.
Mm.
I told the truth about everything. He wanted us to say that she was a bad mother so she can lose my sister, so he can have custody of her. I told the truth. I told the judge she wasn't a bad mom.
Mm.
She was a good person.
Mm.
And because of my testimony, it kind of changed every fucking thing. So I feel like because of that, that's the reason why my father started molesting me and raping me, to show as a form of punishment that how dare you go against me. I feel like that's one of the main reasons why he did that or started to rape me and molest me.
Wow. And that truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was prevalent at 5 years old and came back into play around 9 years old.
Yeah.
And even until today is still, I think, the most important and superpower that you have, right? Even coming here telling the truth.
Right.
When he gets locked up at age 9, do you remember feeling guilty? Was there animosity? Was there joy? What did you feel?
Yeah, you seem to really be against her, D Classics. You said she worked up those tears. Okay. Well, I wonder why the other parties accusing her of such egregious acts couldn't work up not one.
When they sentenced your father?
I felt free. I felt fucking free that he was no longer around me.
Mm.
I didn't have to worry about him coming in my room at night.
Mm.
I felt safe.
Where did you go?
My mama had got custody of us. So we went back into her custody. I guess she had to take classes and stuff like that to show and take her medicine to show that she can be, a stable parent. So I guess she went and took those measures. I mean, that was good for a little while until she got herself a little husband. Nothing happened with him, but it was just a lot of, I guess, just bullshit on his end.
Right.
He wasn't the nigga for my mama, basically. You know what I'm saying? Right. He just wasn't.
All right, guys, I'm going to just say this one more time. Let's all reserve judgment, including me. Okay? I'm saying how I feel now only because me and Lampo have been on this for over, I feel like a month now. It's been very...
Yep, it's been about a month.
Yeah. So this is not just us jumping into this,
No, it's not. We've actually been doing research, talking to Chantel. And by the way, Chantel is in the comments, you guys. So just put in the mind frame if this was your daughter up on the panel telling a story such as this, and then you also know that your daughter is in the chat, just be mindful.
Thank you so much for that.
That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Because again, you don't... I'll tell you this much. Once you guys find out more details, you're probably going to feel real guilty for all the things that you're saying about Chantel right now. I'm just saying.
So we lived with my mom for about 3 years.
Because we have some exclusive information.
What are those years?
Say that again. Say it again.
I said because we do have some exclusive information.
So, like I said, you guys, please Please, if you see a red flag, just call it, but don't sit in here and just keep saying she guilty without hearing all sides and seeing all receipts. Please.
Years like.
Even though we were, living somewhat in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's probably like the best childhood I had. I remember getting our bicycles, going outside and going across this train tracks, got all the neighborhood kids lined up the bike against the road, and we just having fun, just being outside, no tablets, no fucking social media, just being kids. Like that was like the best part of my childhood was when I was living with my mom low key. My mom allowed us to be kids, even though she had her own mental issues going on. She allowed us to be kids overall.
Interesting. That's the first time I've seen you smile during the interview.
I love my mom, man. I don't hate my mom at all for the decision she made.
Right.
But we'll get into it. Yeah.
Well, it seems like things were looking on the up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that part of your childhood, you are beginning to become a kid and be a kid and have fun and have those sort of memories, but you're not in the clear yet.
Real quick, he's speaking about, children, childhood memories, and whatnot. I just want to read this. Shout out to you, Queendry. Thank you for sharing this and being open enough to put it out there. I'll be honest, I was molested and I blocked mine out. Now I don't remember much. Do you guys hear that? I'm sending love and hugs to you, Queendry. Some people that have experienced it know that it is a possibility that once you go through it, you can block it out. How does it happen? I don't know. I feel like it's a way to protect yourself when you block things out.
You're not in the clear yet. What happens after those 3 years?
So my brother decides to reach out to my father. I guess basically telling me he wanted to move in with him and stuff like that. So my brother started like sneaking off, to go see my dad or whatever. And I would never go. I would.
When you say you heard both sides, did you hear the interview that Tasha K did with Chantel, or are you talking about just this? And also, one more question. You heard both sides, but did you see receipts from both sides? Did you see receipts from both sides? Not just this. Did you see paperwork? Did you see lie detector tests? Did you see STD tests? Did you see any of those? I just want to know. Just a question.
Never go. And so my mother, she stopped taking her medicine again. My mother stopped taking her medicine again. She's a schizophrenic, so she's hearing voices. She's cutting the cables out the TV. She thinks somebody's watching her. And now it's starting to get uncomfortable living with her because it's like, damn, you act hectic. So you saying all this shit that I don't even see. You saying, people watching you through TVs and shit. Where are they? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't see it. So it started to become real stressful living with her. But my father popped up. And my mother was like, yeah, you can take them. That's at 9.
Huh?
That's at 9. I was 9 years old at that time. Yep. She said he could take us. So we go move back in with him. Of course, everything seems fine in the beginning, but, things start turning yet again. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so yeah, we were still living in Florida during this time. And the sexual abuse didn't start up, not immediately, but it started up again. And I remember me and him was in the kitchen. And during this time, he's out of prison, so he's kind of hearing, I don't want to skip anything, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Take your time.
Okay, so when he got out of prison, I believe I was 11. Yeah, I was 11 during that time.
Okay. So She speaks on the age, and you can tell that she's like confused. She's trying to see when her dad was released from prison.
Sweet Ma, check your text messages on your phone.
Okay. What? Please explain to me. Go. Please explain to me what's happening.
I'm finna send it to you.
I'm gonna just say this. What you know what I'm gonna do? Once we're done doing this, I have one thing to say that's very important. We're here doing this not for attention, not to be the first to report anything. We're here to support a young lady that is being accused of some disgusting things. We took the time to do our research. It wasn't quick. It's been a month of silence. It's been a month of gathering things to, to make this possible. There are a lot of hurdles that have come in between here that are trying to stop this from happening, but it won't stop. I just have to put that out there. It won't. So, like I was saying, I'm taking notes down. We're listening to what she has to say. She was confused. You can tell she paused a little bit and she was like, trying to remember when her father got out of prison. And I think she said age. Let's see.
During this time, he's out of prison, so he's kind of hearing. I don't want to skip anything. I'm sorry.
I just sent it to you, Sweet Ma.
Okay.
Okay, so when he got out of prison, I believe I was 11. Yeah, I was 11 during that time. So when he got out of prison, I was getting the times mixed up. So when he got out of prison, I believe I was like 11 years old. So we moved in with him. We living in Florida. And, I remember me and him was in the kitchen, and then he was telling me basically what I liked as far as like in a guy or in a man or whatever. And he was basically telling me that if I ever had urges, that he would rather for me to come to him than to get it outside. So of course I'm like, why the fuck would he like tell me that? Like, right. Why would you want to know like what type of guy I like? Like, why would you tell me if I have any urges to come to you? Like, trying to make it seem like this is normal. Right. Telling me that, oh, this happened in other households all the time. There's people that's in class with you that's probably going through the same thing, and look, they're not hurt. And he would just make it seem like it was okay because he wasn't hurting me, that he was, nice and soft and not force me, but in reality you were forcing me. Just because you wasn't, like hardcore raping me to feel so I could feel pain, I was still feeling the damage that he caused to me. You're supposed to be my father. How could you sleep with someone and create a whole child and look at your child? I look like him. Yeah. How could you look at me and say I want to fuck my daughter, or not even?
All right, I just want to make this point. So she's questioning, like, how could you look at me? I look just like you. I'm your daughter. Why would you want to violate me? That's a valid question. But Chantel, if you're listening, I just want to point this out. There was another case that me and my fellow partners were covering a couple years back, of a man by the name of Eligio Bishop, Nature Boy. He had a daughter by the name of Baby Ellie. She was a spitting image of her father. They had exact same features, even down to the dimples. And he had an attraction to his daughter, so much so that he was aroused by his daughter while he was dancing with her. And, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But if you are not, like, you don't have the same mind as a predator, so you will not understand why. There's a self-proclaimed and diagnosed narcissist out there by the name of Sam Vacton that spoke on people like that are attracted to their children in a nasty way. I'm not saying that's what's going on with her father, because at one point I thought maybe she had a crush on her daddy. I did. So let's just continue. I just wanted to point that out because it doesn't make sense. Like,
Can I
why
say
would.
something, sweet mom?
Go ahead.
Angel Eyes 33 says, I saw the dad and stepmom's interview. I believe them. I mean, you can believe who you want to believe, but after you get this exclusive content, these exclusive receipts, um, I'm guaranteed that your mind will change about that.
A lot of people are going to be shocked. That's all I'm going to say.
Daughter, because he never even looked at me as a daughter. He really looked at me as his bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was never his daughter. For him to be able to do the things that he was doing, I was never his daughter. He always looked at me as his bitch.
So after that conversation, do you what do you sort of feel? Do you feel like, well, no, Dad, I don't want to come to you for these sort of things? Or do you feel like you sort of have to continue to start that sort of cycle back up with your dad because he's telling you essentially
No.
you have to do it?
No, I always told my dad no. Like, he was come in my room, sneak in my room or whatever, tell me, get up, get up, get up. And I'm like, sometimes I don't say shit. Like, I literally be like laying there, like act like damn near dead. You know what I'm saying? This nigga would get my leg, my ankle, and drag me. He would get my arm and drag me out the room. I had no choice. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, during that time, nothing I could have said just have stopped him.
When did you lose your virginity?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't. I don't.
But at some point your father stops
My dad found out I wasn't a virgin no more. And I'm trying to think. Because a lot of stuff I had tried to mentally block out my head.
No, I don't blame you.
When my dad found out I wasn't a virgin no more, and let me just say this. My father wasn't the only person that was touching me. My two older brothers was as well. And that's why I can't tell you. I don't remember when I lost my virginity. I don't know. I don't know if it was one of my brothers. I don't know if it was my dad. I don't know. I don't know. But what my father did find out when he checked me, when he saw that my hymen wasn't no longer attached, my father started to full gauge, have full-blown sex with me. He started having sex with me without no condom, without no nothing. And this nigga got 17 children, 13 baby mamas. You sleeping with everybody in the whole motherfucking world, and you're not even, like, at least put a condom on. Like, you literally, like, risking my whole entire fucking life, you know?
And it's very important, this part right here, that she recollects that her father was doing sexual things to her without protection. Y'all, this gets deep, and I'm probably gonna leave you after this live with why what she's saying right here at the 29-minute mark is so important. She stated that her father was doing so much to her that could have put her life at risk. You guys stick around to find out what exactly happened. But again, y'all be the judge. If you choose to believe what you want, that's on you. Receipts don't lie, especially when they're from a police station, from the courthouse. They don't lie.
So yeah, he would start having sex with me, and during those times, like I'm approaching high school now. You know, I'm in the 8th grade, 9th grade, and
Wait a minute. You guys, am I still live? Sis, somebody just messaged me and said somebody reported this live. Regardless if it was reported, I will, this is fair use. We're breaking this story down. That's that. That's it. I'm not trying to take any credit for anybody's story. Can you guys let me know whether you can see this? I just need to know if you guys can still see me. Apparently, the father has 18 kids and 13 baby mothers.